Greetings. How y'all doing? I always wonder how the algorithm pick people to send this to because I had no fucking clue how to send that I'm live out on here. So it's really interesting because I see people I've never seen before, and you probably doom scrolling. Are y'all doom scrolling? Are y'all doom scrolling? And I popped up and you was like, huh, she looks interesting. What is she talking about? Because I see names I never saw before. If you stick around, you might find yourself intrigued. But I believe that the algorithm connects people who have some type of connection, but you have to unlock it and figure out what it is. Yeah, you look to see who's live right now. I literally was just sitting here, was like, you know what? I'm finna go live. So welcome, Lena. Yes. So I am someone who has flatlined more than one time, and it activated my already powerful psychic abilities. I am a Akashic record reader. I communicate with animals. I communicate with things, with people, with places. They speak to me. I'm all of the clairs. I'm a super empath. So I'm a Hayoka empath, which is someone who eats other people's pain. So yeah, you could say that empaths are vampires, right? Like, you gotta get shit from me you never heard anywhere else before. Right now I'm just having fun with the Matrix and like let's just see what happens. But yeah, it is cool, Lena. It is cool shit. Yeah, I feel really honored to have gotten a chance to look at my life and decide whether or not I want to keep doing it, right? So I had a whole life review both times that I flatlined. And I knew that it was something different about me because I have always been able to talk to spirits, just like I'm talking to y'all. Um, so but when I flatline, of course, that changed me forever. When I look at people, I see a hologram over top of people's heads. I can't really control what the hologram shows me, but it shows me a lot of different things. Sometimes stuff I don't want to see. I'm tuned into people's shadows, so I usually see people's shadows first. Family trauma, shit you went through in school, being bullied, shit you went through in a past life, dark thoughts that maybe you've been struggling with, but you haven't been talking to nobody about it. Like that's the bandwidth that I pick up on first, and then I can tap into like the things that you love and that you enjoy, and the things that you want to become. And this is why I became a coach and a Akashic record reader. So I'm what you call a spiritual life coach. Um, to make a long story short, thank you. Oh, and I do music too. Super creative. Songwrite, rap, sing, make beats. I can do a lot of different things. Um, mm, yeah, so for anybody who going through something tough right now, like just want to let you know, you can look at some of my body and tell that I've had a tough life, right? Just want to let you know it's okay. Like the difficult things that we go through, I'm the person that lets you know it's okay, and I can tell you why it's okay without bypassing and toxic positivity. And it's really okay because when we go through tough things, I mean, I'm talking about shit. You know how some shit you go through is just you don't even want to talk to nobody about it, right? You just wanted to just you want to escape reality. And so a lot of us do that by becoming super mental and getting in our heads, right? That shit, that's okay too. It's okay because it's fuel that your soul uses to help you to evolve and become a better version of you. Once you see difficult times as fuel, as a catalyst, as a divine spark, you can be really uncomfortable and really be going through some shit and not feel bad about yourself and not beat yourself up about it. Because look, when we're going through tough times, the last thing that we need is to beat ourselves up. And we right now, what we see happening in the world, if like me, you all look in the world and you like, where is the fucking love? Like, where is the community? Where is unity? Like, what happened to compassion? Like, what happened to us? Like, if we really be real with each other, I'm sure most of us don't like people at this point, because we're on a version of the earth where the veil that was once up, that we use to perceive each other through, is not there anymore. People was talking about the spiritual veil going down, and we thought it meant we would just be able to see fairies and shit, and pluck cotton candy out the sky and just like acid tripping every day. Like we probably had a lot of fantastical things that we thought that this new consciousness and this expanded world was gonna bring, but it was also gonna mean that we were gonna see the shadow shit we couldn't see at first. So it's shit that you see in yourself that you never seen before. You meeting parts of yourself that you never met before. You feeling shit in yourself for the very first time. And then we're having to learn how to feel that with each other. So like maybe that person you thought was solid and you thought was just a positive person, and now you're seeing like this person got some deep shit going on. This person is hurting about some stuff. This person is not the person that I remember, and it's because our grace period that humanity was given for us to come out of the programming, deconditioning, decolonizing our mind, learning how to be real and authentic. Like we don't want to dig in our nose in front of each other. I'm not saying that we should, but we don't want to be farting and shit in front of each other. Like all of that is like anti-authenticity, because it's shit that you have to do anyway. But there was this thing that we learned to operate in where we felt, I only feel comfortable if you can see the parts of me I'm comfortable with. Did y'all catch that? So the shit about me I'm still uncomfortable with, I don't want you to see. And y'all don't even know me. Like y'all, I don't even know y'all like that. We're like, it's this judgment that we feel of each other before something even happens. It's like we live safe. We try to play safe. And a lot of us are souls who got soul contracts to experience like families that had dysfunction that you probably was aware of since you've been a kid. It was shit that you knew was like, this is not good. This is toxic. And to be a child and to be able to see something that the adults in your life can't see or see and are trying to escape and not deal with, that's a difficult journey. But these are the people that are attracted to me. The people who are here to learn how to be alchemists. Because see, enjoying your life, if it consists of everything in your life being the way that you want it to be, you're never going to enjoy your life. The most priceless thing that I could offer you all would to be to find ways to enjoy your life as it is just right now. So it can be 51 things off the top of your head you could think of that's wrong. But if it's 2 things that you're grateful for, like just sit and really ruminate on that shit. Just like really, you go feel the resistance. Because there's a part of us that's addicted to suffering. We became addicted to suffering because we didn't feel worthy of anything better than that. And so it's a form of self-harm. It's like an energetic form of self-harm. So we will attract people in relationships who will cause us to suffer or bring some form of abuse. All of this is just us reenacting our core wounds so that we can figure out how the fuck to get it right, how to fix it, so that we can figure out how to work with it, how to use it. It's all there to be fueled. Every great song that you ever heard, every movie that you ever watched, it has some tough moments in it that created that. And you loved it. You fucking loved it. Think of the saddest song ever. Like When Doves Cry. That's a sad song. But I love that shit. Like Prince created that from trauma. Like that's the magical alchemical. These are new words to you. Like just binge watch both of my YouTube channels and I'll get you caught up pretty quickly in this whole awakening thing. But just to demystify it, he took something that hurt him, seeing the patterns of his parents, and then seeing how they connect him to his partners. Like he time traveled us through some shit. And am I the only one? Like, come on now. When Doves Cry, come on. Like, it don't matter what country we come from, what language we speak. Damn near everybody who ever exists on this planet since Prince been here know who Prince is. And Michael, he was the same way. Michael Jackson was the same way. These are people who experienced trauma and they turned it into something else. And we're no different. We're just as gifted. We're equipped with the same capacity. So some of the things that we can be doing right now, like y'all, listen. If you are an empath, if you are hypersensitive to criticism, like just take a chance and be a little bit more vulnerable. Just take a chance and be a little bit more yourself. Just take a chance and see what happens. Because life is so short. This life could be gone just like this. It might be people in your reality that want to be a support system for you, but they're waiting on you to open up and invite them into your world by being vulnerable. When we send out invitations like that energetically, and you're doing it out of a place of love, you're going to attract people, places, and things that's in alignment with it. So, like, don't get away from the manifesting 24/7. You need to be manifesting this life and manifesting that life. And that's great. But if you don't learn to have an appreciation for where you are and learn how to work with it, you're just going to manifest chaos. Because you're in chaos in the inside of you. And it's crazy that I've been doing this since 2006. And at one point, my YouTube channel had millions of views. But when my videos, when my predictions started coming true, I started to get censored a lot. It was bad. And I couldn't figure out why, because I hear other people share similar things that I do. And a lot of it has a lot to do with who I am beyond this physical form, what my soul is capable of doing to people. I transform people. And I didn't realize how profound my gift was. So even though it seemed like I'm just sitting here and speaking right now, my higher I divine self is scanning for what is going to be of the greatest service to the people who are listening. And I haven't ever met y'all. This is the way that this gift works. And so in order for me to be able to function in this gift without losing my fucking mind as an empath, I had to start using boundaries, which was one of the scariest things ever for me, because I've always felt like I didn't fit in. So I don't want to make other people feel unwanted, abandoned, or like they don't fit in. And so I will go out of my way to not have boundaries because I thought that was connection, right? I thought that was me allowing people to really know me and be vulnerable. And everybody don't deserve your vulnerability, but you do have to take a chance. It's a risk. Relationships require risk. And you're not on the same version of earth that you was, unless you was just born a year ago. You on a total different version of earth today than you were when you were born. I got any 80s babies in here? I'm sure I do. 70s baby? I'm a 70s baby. 79. This world is very different. And it's like all of the shadow shit that had been happening, you can't hide from it anymore. We can't run from ourselves no more. We can't run from the stuff that we fear. We cannot avoid the dreams and the things that we want to create. That shit haunts you. if you're being called right now to do something as a soul who agreed to be here in this time, that it's stuff that you want to do that might require you to have boundaries, better boundaries, to be able to give birth to whatever that version of reality is. Like, all of us matter. All of us matter. And I think I just wanted to share my heart today because I've been doing a lot of dream work. So what I do is I meditate myself to sleep. I deal with insomnia, so I'm certified night owl. So for me, meditating, if I have insomnia and I can't fall asleep and I'm going to be laying in the bed for 6 hours trying to go to sleep, I'm going to make that shit work for me. This is what's going to make you instantly feel better about life. How can I make this shit work for me? So, okay, if I can't fall asleep, I'm going to meditate. Right? I'm gonna call in divine support and help for the people that I care about, so that I'm not giving too much of myself, burning myself out. So many of us are burnt out. We're not just burnt out because of what we do at work or at school or as a wife or a husband. We're burnt out because of the generations before us was burnt out. So they passed on their burnout. This is a transgenerational burnout that the collective of people who are here right now are experiencing. We feel the tiredness that our grandmothers and great-grandmothers and grandfathers felt, but society was set up in a way where it didn't allow them to slow down, and that passed down to us. So a lot of us got chronic fatigue. A lot of us are having sleep issues. A lot of us are experiencing depression. I talk about the spiritual aspects of these things. It's great to have a conversation about the physical aspect and personal development and how to help and talk therapy. I've done all of that. I've also used plant medicines to help me heal. And from all of these experiences, what I see happening with the collective right now, we're learning how to be ourselves. That's trippy. That we learning how to be our own self, because we're realizing there are parts of me that I was programmed to be. That's not even who I really am. And if you feel like you have to be nice to people because you grew up in chaos and maybe being nice was the only way that you knew to create some peace, right? A lot of women don't feel emotionally safe in their partnerships because a lot of men haven't done this healing work around their inner child. You have an inner relationship conversation. You have to start the relationship with your relationship with yourself. Like, you can't enjoy life without doing this work. This is what I'm trying to say to you. On the new earth, on the old earth, we could get by. We could go to the club, we could drink, we could smoke, we could gamble, we could work. We could hyperfixate on shit. We could use hobbies, ignore, distract. Now, that shit don't work like it used to. I can guarantee I'm not the only one here. A lot of the stuff that you used to do that used to help you cope, it don't work no more. And if it don't work for you no more, congratulations. You have made it to the new earth. Yeah. You made it to the new earth. You made it. And on the new earth, we learn how to be more accepting of things that are different than us without having to compete with each other, without having to be an ego. It's a whole different vibe. It's all about the vibes. It's 11:11 where I am, Ashe. It's all about the vibes and the energy. It's about that more than anything now. We're finding that, right? And so if I'm speaking to you right now, like, know that it's so important that you find a way to enjoy who you are right now, because you're going to be changing, and you're going to be changing really quickly, y'all. We don't even realize why we're here. A lot of us have had to spend so much energy on surviving this world that we didn't get the opportunity to find out what we were really passionate about. So a lot of shit that we've been doing, we just been doing it because of how we was conditioned. It wasn't something that you authentically chose, or maybe you felt pressured, or you just felt like you gotta be productive. Like, a lot of us are struggling with that right now. A lot of us are learning that we neurodivergent. We got symptoms of being ADHD. We got symptoms of being autistic. Let's be real. This new earth. A lot of us realizing, you know what? I got some bipolar stuff going on. Just to even be able to be aware of these things and admit it, that's new earth shit. Generations before us wasn't doing this. Not in their free time. In their free time, they was not trying to figure themselves out. Like, if you doing that, congratulations, you are not an NPC in the Matrix. You have grabbed that cord and pulled it out the back of your neck and said, no, we're not doing this anymore. I don't want my reality simulated by structures of society set up to keep me oppressed so that I'll never experience the highest version of myself. Congratulations. Everybody ain't ready to unplug. And for those of us who have unplugged, I just want to ask you, when was the last time you said something kind to yourself? Because this collective addiction to love, codependency, people pleasing, being nice, it severs true connection. So it don't matter how many people you pass by in your day, if the connection has been severed because you got wounds around your heart chakra and it's hard for you to trust. It's hard for you to open up. You've been betrayed. You've been lied to. And maybe even the people that raised you didn't know how to love you the way you needed to be loved. So now you have this subconscious belief that ain't no beneficial relationships out there. A lot of people then gave up on being in relationships. They like, I'm just gonna do what I do. I'm not even on it right now. So many people. I mean, so many women when I do readings, and they like, I don't want to have kids. I don't want to be a wife. I don't want to do none of that. I just want to figure out what my purpose is and follow that. This is the first generation where on a collective level we're asking ourselves, but what is it that I really want? And it takes courage to even ask the question. And so right now, on an energetic level, anything that's in your life that's not in your life because the authentic version of you created this reality to experience is gonna start falling apart. And if something falling apart, sometimes you just gotta surrender. And for some of us, that's our physical body. Because we've abused ourselves. We think negative about ourselves. We beat ourselves up. And the physical body is just letting you know. It's just an alert system letting you know, hey, this is the vehicle that you chose. You need to take better care of me. Don't let the shit that hurt you from the past regenerate itself, clone itself inside of your consciousness as a program, and you follow the program. And that's what a lot of us do. And this, you starting to feel that you do this. You can feel that I'm doing the same shit every day. And 95% of what I'm doing, I don't even enjoy it. I'm just doing it because I have to. Right? Like, this is how the 3D matrix is trying to pull us back to the old version of Earth. It don't want us to ascend into a higher vibration. Every single emotion has a vibration. So the emotion of fear, it has a specific hertz. The emotion of love, 528 hertz, the frequency. It's a higher frequency. And then within those frequencies, it doesn't mean that you don't experience the emotion, but we're learning how. We're learning how to be emotional. Because the 3D matrix severed us from our emotions. It wasn't safe. It's not safe for you to be emotional. If you're a female and you be emotional, you're going to be called too emotional. People going to think you too much. And people not going to want to deal with you. You might even lose jobs because of it. Right? And so it's like, I got to shut down my emotions. The boys in the planet that came to this planet, they've been programming the boys like, don't be emotional. Don't be a little sissy. Quit acting like a little girl. And men shut their emotions down, their emotional center, their emotional body. You have a full body that is built up of nothing but emotions, just like your whole body is built up of bones. And those experiences hold up that emotional body. And so now men are noticing, like, I don't know how to make connections in relationships. My relationships, I feel lonely. A lot of people feel lonely in relationships right now. That is a very normal thing to be experiencing if you just unplug from the matrix. Because the matrix had us in these loops and these programs from movies, music, stuff that we had seen. And we had this fantasy in our mind of what a relationship is supposed to be. And it didn't involve having hard conversations and doing it in a healthy way. Not having to be afraid of conflict. Conflict actually can be a form of intimacy. It can bring you closer with people, not just romantic, but friendships with people, even with our children. A lot of us who got kids, like, we're proud of the first generation to stop getting whoopings and whooping kids. Like, that was such a normal thing to get your ass whooped. That's just the part of being a kid on this planet, to have an adult hold a weapon and use it on your ass and gaslight you the entire time, telling you that I'm doing this because I love you. But if you go to school and somebody hits you and you hit them back, you go get suspended and get in trouble too. So I can't defend myself. Hitting is bad and it's wrong. It's not something I'm supposed to do. People that hate each other hit each other, but my folks be hitting me. We had to grow up in that duality. And not to say that the people who was whooping us didn't love us, but it was the same duality that they experienced. And so that confused us around what love was. And so subconsciously, a lot of us believe that love must require pain. And love will require pain. But I mean, we accepted it and we glorified it subconsciously. And this is why in relationships with other people, when we see these toxic patterns come up, if you feel like the person you dealing with is doing something that's abusive towards you, 9 times out of 10, they doing it to themselves first. So really, it's not really personal about you. It's just a program that they've been operating in. And anybody in their life that they get close to, you're going to be an extension of that frequency. Remember, emotions are frequencies. So they're radio stations. So it's going to distort the language of whatever is really happening. Right? And this is why in my alchemical course called Turn Pain into Purpose, I teach you how to take those moments where you triggered and those moments of tense conversation and communication, and to actually like change the radio frequency in that moment. It's like key words that you can use within the 3D matrix that's going to trigger a different vibrational set point, and you're able to shift out of tension and conflict without having to be nice, people please, and be codependent, because that was the only way that I knew how to do it. So if I'm in a situation where I don't feel safe and emotions are running high, then I'm gonna go into freeze. I'm going to go into flight, right? I'm just going to avoid you because you bringing me energy that reminds me of my childhood, and I don't want to deal with it. So I'm going to avoid you. I'm going to avoid your ass like the plague. And so this was one of my love attachment strategies. And I realized that that's not really what I want. I want safety. I want to feel safe, but I don't know how. And because I'm an empath, and you are an empath, and people bring their problems to you, it's got a lot to do with your human design, your vibrational frequency, your galactic signature, and who are your spiritual mama and daddies. Like, you got to know these things, because all of these things is what create you. The you trying to figure out who you are, it ain't going to be attached to what the world told you was. So your identity is completely different than your I-divinity. Your I-divinity is who you are at the core. Who you was before you developed the ego that was afraid to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, to be honest, to be mean, to be angry. Like, I have a fear of being angry. Like, that shit is like the worst scary movie to me, happening in real time. I'm afraid of my angry version of my own damn self. So what kind of partner am I going to attract? What type of people I'm going to attract? People who are very dysregulated when it comes to their anger. And they're probably going to express their anger in ways that is towards me so that I can learn how to deal with my own anger. They just a mirror reflection of the shit I ain't dealt with. And when you start to see it like that, you get triggered. This is why I didn't realize I had gotten so good at this that I could teach this. Because these are problems that all of us can relate to. And I was like, okay, can you give me something that anybody could use and is going to be effective? And that's what I went into the Akashic Records and gathered that information. I did one-on-one readings. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I burnt myself out. I was doing so many one-on-one readings and teaching coaching sessions and sacred sister groups. And I was teaching occult practices at the time. Because I went through hoodoo, I went through occult, I went through the left-hand path. Like I went through tantra. I went through all of those practices that you all have heard about and taught them live every week on YouTube. And I did this with my twin flame. And when I tell you I was burning myself out, y'all, I was given purely from willpower. That was it. And I got so sick to where I couldn't walk. I couldn't get up out the bed. I sat up one day and the entire room was spinning. And my higher I divine self said, you have given so much. You have created over 1,000 videos. You have led numerous webinars. You have done thousands of readings and group coaching. You have created courses, meditations, and music to support people who are going through a spiritual awakening. And because you refuse to slow down, this is how we go do it. Your ass go spin every time you sit up. And I spent 2 months in the bed, and the only thing that I could eat was maybe smoothie, applesauce, and couscous. That was all I was eating for 2 months straight, because I couldn't get up and cook. I had to hold on to stuff to walk to the toilet. It was like my body was telling me the entire time, but I wasn't listening because I was so hyped. And I was like, I'm going through a spiritual awakening. My third eye opening. I'm a fucking superhero. I can take this shit. I got this. This ain't nothing. My spiritual ego was out of hand. And I really thought that I could do anything and there was no limitations ever. But I was burning myself out. And at the same time that was happening, people, anybody who get on here and y'all go watch my videos, that's why I left all of it up. I want people to be able to see the entire spiritual awakening from beginning to end, so that even after I leave this world, I'm still awakening other oracles. Because there's so many of us, we aren't just empaths. We're clairvoyants, we're clairsentient, we're telepathic. Can we talk about that? This is all coming online. All of a sudden now, if somebody upset with you, you can hear what the fuck they saying about you. And you think in your mind, I'm just making up stuff. They probably not thinking that. But then something that happened later and it'll confirm it. And you'll be like, wow, yeah, that had crossed my mind. I felt like you was feeling a way about me. And then they'll confirm it. Yeah, I was feeling a way about da-da-da. That's telepathy. But sometimes it be your own story that you're projecting onto that situation. And I call that holographic love. So you're perceiving something through a filter, just like these filters we got right here. So what's happening is really happening. But the way you're downloading what's happening, the way you're translating what's happening is based on the pain that you haven't healed yet. And so we create projections, just like projectors. And so somebody could be saying something that's really loving to you, and you could feel like they're being sarcastic. And you won't even receive it. You won't even let what they said touch your heart, because you that shit didn't come out of a good place. You ain't even being for real. And maybe they really are, but you don't have the ability to feel that. So these are the things that on what we call the new earth, which basically means that we can't follow the old rules anymore because everything has changed. Our wiring is changing. Technology is changing really quickly. So what this is doing to us, if you could just look on the inside and see the energy inside of you, that energy is activating stuff inside of you that was beat out of your ancestors. Our ancestors went through so much. Those of us who are descendants of people who was here when monotheistic religion first started laying the smack down, if we can be really honest about that, that's a painful part of our history, but it's the truth. And a lot of the beliefs that was passed on to us was beat into people. So humanity has committed some of the most heinous crimes of injustice against one another, all in the name of religion. And this is one of the things, when I first started really seeing how much religion fueled wars, and I looked at the spiritual implications behind that, and I was like, wow, like, no wonder we're afraid to let our light shine. No wonder we dim our light and play small. Like, and you starting to feel how uncomfortable the life that the small you created, you don't want to live it like that no more. You ready to go to the next thing. And maybe you have achieved a lot and accomplished a lot despite the things that you went through, but you still feel that there's room for more. It is expansion. And it's going to be a period of time on a collective level, as we're coming out of these religious teachings, on a collective level, it's going to be a period of time where you're going to have to learn how to love the version of you that you are today while you're creating the version of you that you came here to become. That's the game changer. Can I love me when I'm doing that thing that I said I wasn't going to do no more? Can I love me when I feel embarrassed because I get needy when I feel like people are abandoning me? Can I love me when I feel like people are intentionally not inviting me to stuff and leaving me out? Can I love me when my kids tell me I'm a terrible mama, I'm a terrible daddy? Or somebody in my family, because a lot of us are being triggered through family. Like, family trauma was the number one thing that we signed up for. That was the number one class that we signed up to come to Earth to experience, to help us figure out who we were. So, like, I'm no contact with my family. Again, if you're new to me, I literally took a microscope and put it over my life and just allowed my entire life to be followed for everybody to see. But I'm no contact with my biological mother, and it was one of the hardest things I ever had to do, especially as a codependent, people-pleasing, hyper-responsible, empathic woman. I want to take care of people. I want people to feel change when they interact with my energy. I want to lift people up. And that's beautiful, but I was doing it at the expense of my own self. That's a nightmare. And so because I started learning how valuable I was, I started creating boundaries. And boundaries will only trigger people who were benefiting from you not having them. So if people start to get triggered as you start to change and you start to say, hey, it's not okay for you to talk to me that way. Hey, it's not okay for you to keep asking me for money or asking me for advice. We're both adults and I have challenges too. You know, I'm the only one giving. For those of us who are over givers, like you feel the need to pull back now. And for me, that wasn't going the way I wanted it to go. So I just had to cut everything off and go no contact. And you talk about, so many people talk about intergenerational curses, but it's like, okay, but what are you willing to do that? The universe is going to say, let's see how serious you are. Are you willing to go no contact with your family, with your relatives? Are you willing to walk the rest of this path without the people you grew up with? That's a hard decision. But when you grow up in certain types of abuse, at some point you know that if I don't change the trajectory of my life, it's not going to change. And when I started making those hard choices, I started creating reality like really quickly. And if y'all go back and watch my videos, this shit was crazy. I was like, wait a minute. I think I'm on to something. Like, you mean to tell me that the key to this life is me being willing to sacrifice the version of me and everything that came with it that's no longer serving me? So the whole Jesus crucifixion thing, that was really about our own ability to lay to rest the version of us that was severely wounded so that we could become the healed version of us. That's what it's about. You got to be able to lay your false self down and say, you know what? You've been through a lot. But I'm ready to live. I'm ready to let my light shine. I'm ready to do things that I'm afraid to do. And you have to lay that version of you to rest peacefully, respectfully. Like, you literally have to go through a ceremony with yourself. You can't keep dragging the version of you that's a zombie, the version of you that's emotionally numb, dead, avoidant, anxiously attached, needy, afraid to let people in, afraid to... Some of us can't even ask for help, both men and women, because we all have masculine and feminine within us. But when it's hard for you to receive help, your feminine aspect of you is wounded. The feminine is the receptor. She receives energy. And a lot of us won't even ask for help. And so because of that, we take on too much. You can't drag that version of you around with you while you're trying to create a different life for yourself. Because that version of you is always going to be pulling and tugging on you, making you second guess yourself. So when I realized this, I was in meditation one night. And this was like right after I had a dream that I was teaching people how to create sigils. Like the craziest shit, because I was a Christian. No, I was a Hebrew Israelite at the time. And I was teaching people how to create sigils for protection. That's a form of a talisman. It's a symbol that you create to protect whatever it is you want to protect or do whatever you want to do. And you're basically going to reprogram your subconscious mind by taking letters, right? And putting them into a symbol, into a shape. And you charge the intention of it. And by staring at those letters, staring at that sacred geometry, it helps to reprogram your mind. And so I was teaching people how to do this. I had never heard of this in my life, but dreamed about it. And outside the apartment where we were, or wherever we was meeting, people was like going crazy. People was murdering each other. People was arguing with each other, just fighting. Everybody was just unhappy. Everybody was frustrated, sad. People were just desperate. I mean, I looked out the window and was like, what is happening to the world? But inside we was like great, right? And so I told the crowd, I said, it's a lot of chaos outside. So we're gonna get together and we're gonna pray before we interact with the outside so it don't contaminate, right? The purification that we're going through as souls. And we ended up battling with the people who were not ready to awaken, the people who were not ready to let go of the pain and the wounds, and to be able to, just to be able, you can't really let go of the past if you can't find purpose in it. Because if you don't find purpose in it, you're going to continue to feel like you went through that shit for no reason. And it's just going to make you mad. And then you're going to get mad and think about it. And then feel sad about it and feel depressed about it. And just it just recycles itself. And you get stuck in these loops. That's what the simulation do. Get you stuck in loops. And that's why Neo in the movie Matrix, he was in a loop and he kept seeing the cat. Or he kept seeing the woman in the red dress. And he started to notice the loops that he was in. And that shit was just replaying itself. And so when this started happening, you have to do something that's going to snatch you out of, because it's coding. It's just like coding. And so you have to do something that's going to break that coding. And this is why we see them editing DNA right now. Because our DNA is changing. As we're doing this healing work, we're impacting each other as well. And it's changing the vibration on the planet. So our DNA is changing. We're growing new strands of DNA. What they call junk DNA, it was just something that was set aside for another time. It wasn't meant to be understood, right? Because it would have been manipulated with. And I think it's so beautiful of an analogy to see something that was considered junk has now become that precious thing, that amazing thing that's unlocking intuition and intelligence and abilities in you that your ancestors maybe weren't able to operate in. And so as that's happening to us, with the whole jab, like I predicted everything, y'all. When I say everything, I predicted every major event since 9/11 that was gonna occur. And so now I can't put my predictions out here in the world like this. I have to put them on Patreon because they're so sacred and they unlock codes. And whoever watch them, codes are gonna unlock in you about your own life and reality. And so back to what I was saying. So like on a collective level right now with that happening, it's going to be like more emotional reasons for emotions to get out of control because it's intentional. Because the parasites that feed on the negative emotions that we have, they need us to create that, right? For them to eat. And so a lot of what we see happening is you don't know how to create a filter and put a mindset and a boundary around what you're witnessing, whether it's outside of your life, in the world, or in your life. You got to know how to PRP that shit. You got a positive reframe practice. It's a practice. So you figure out like what positive thing can I find in this? And if you start doing this with your past, like what's a positive thing I can find in having daddy issues? Oh, okay. I'm learning how I don't want a man to be with me. And because I didn't have certain things as a daughter from my father, I'm now identifying that I need that to feel whole. I'm learning how to give it to myself. And then I will attract outside of me something that's a reflection of that healing instead of something that's a reflection of the womb. Because when you no longer need a mirror to the womb, then the people and the things in your life that mirror that womb will somehow be no longer active in your life, in your reality. And so that's why everything goes back to doing inner child healing. But how do you do that? Where do you even start? It's so much information out here now. It's confusing. And by the time you try to make a decision that you go start doing some inner child healing work, you just be like, I'm too damn tired to even do the healing work. Shit, if I listen to another podcast and hear another perspective and nobody agrees on the perspective, it's just, and it's utter chaos. And this is why we see so much chaos in the world. So you got to start with your inner child and find the positives. And I went through every form of abuse. I think when I was doing my soul contract, I was like, yeah, I want to be like, I want to be really a really loving person who's going to experience some of the worst shit that Earth has to offer. And make sure I need to get sexually abused. Oh, that's got to happen in elementary school. I mean, middle school, that's too easy. That shit got to happen in elementary school. I was like, make sure you sign me up for that crack cocaine epidemic. Oh, got to be a part of that. I mean, what would life be on Earth if I'm not a part of that shit? That shit lit. Like, some people gonna be going through that and they gonna overcome that and turn it into something beautiful. Like, okay, give me that package. I need the bundle. Can I get the trauma bundle? And I made sure I had a sprinkle of the alcoholism in there. Poverty, got to give me some poverty. I died in the past life from starvation and I never did get over that shit. So I know I got to experience it sooner or later. So go ahead and add the poverty to the bundle. Make it a combo. Make it a combo. Right? And so back to the dream, I was taken to the Akashic Library and we were going over my life. And they were just like, yeah, give us a moment, we need to look over something. And I could see like all of these books, y'all. Like our DNA reads out our life experiences across many dimensions and timelines. Like really on some infinite shit. It's just like the horizon. You can't see the beginning or the end of the horizon. So this is how these books work. And they was going through minds. It had my name on it. And they were just like, this is supposed to be different. She's not supposed to be experiencing this anymore. This is supposed to be different. She's supposed to be connecting with the souls who are ready to do this work. Like they was just going through and seeing where there were things that were inaccurate, almost as if time had been manipulated. So let's just say you sign up to have a boss who was going to be narcissistic as hell, and that was supposed to be a 6-month situation, and now you find yourself, you've been at this job for 6 years, that type of shit. And so it's been manipulation going on a vibrational level on planet Earth to try to stop us from ascending into the higher potential version of ourselves. Because once we become our divine self, I mean, you're not gonna be able to oppress us and shit and bamboozle us. We've been getting F with no Vaseline for a long time, and we're starting to wake up now. So they just like, no, we got to make sure they don't wake up too fast. You know what I'm saying? So it's been some time. When they manipulate time, it also manipulates our life experiences and how long the soul contract permitted us to have certain experiences. Am I going too fast? Because I know I just said a lot. Like I'm taking y'all through the Akashic records right now, and this is why that information in Egypt in the Library of Alexandria was destroyed, because the oracles and the symbols there would pull this information down, and they had access to whatever. And this is why generals and kings and warriors, they would all come philosophers and seek information from the oracles, because they had access to this. And so that's what I am. I come from the lineage of oracles. So if I'm going fast, okay, thank you. All right. So what happens is I was experiencing, I have sickle cell anemia. So sickle cell anemia is like, it's really one of the worst diseases you could agree to. This shit crazy. But sickle cell is very painful, right? It causes organ failure, causes bone necrosis, which means bone death. And those are just like some of the small symptoms. This is the shit I was born with. So they flipping through it. I've already had 2 near-death experiences, right? And I had said I don't want to have another one. Like the next time I leave, I want it to be like genuinely the time I'm supposed to leave, So they flipping through the book, and they saw things that were different, that was changed. And when they got ready to explain it to me, these were like some elders, like, y'all, they had afros, first of all. I don't know what was going on with that. I didn't know if I was going to see a Jerry curl pop up next or what, but they had afros. Real cool dudes. Looked like they probably was, I couldn't tell how old they was. They had this youthfulness about them, but they had this thing about them where they felt timeless. Like I was sitting in front of ascended masters and ancient teachers who was in service to humanity long enough to be in service on a cosmic level to humanity type shit. And it's just this reverence that I felt in their presence. And they were just like, look, we don't know what happened, but some of the things that you've been going through, that was supposed to be over. And I was like, I've been feeling like that too. I'd be feeling like some of the problems I'd be having, like I shouldn't even be having these problems no more. Like I know I did enough healing work now to not be constantly manifesting people into my life who go treat me like shit and tell me I'm treating them like shit. Like, okay, at some point that has to end, right? Like, and they were just like, yeah. So they was like, we're going to look into what's going on. They was like, it's not just yours. We have found this in others. There's some type of manipulation going on with your experiences on planet Earth. Deep shit. Like I could go on for hours about what that means, because there's so many ways that you can manipulate somebody's book of life. But food is one of the main ways it can be manipulated, because if you manipulate food, you manipulate the blood. If you manipulate the blood holds the life force energy. If you manipulate the life force energy, you manipulate the emotions. You manipulate the mental. So you manipulate transgenerationally, because mentally, Ashe, whoever Whatever y'all be doing, they be like, click the like and make sure you like this live stream. I don't do none of that shit when I ever jump on here. So make sure y'all share, click the like. I got some shop shit down there if you want to look at my shop. I like to cuss, y'all. This is probably why I'm not monetized anywhere. This is why I got a Patreon. And I'm getting ready to create something else so I can go live with y'all and be really unmotherfucking tamed. Like this is the tamed version of Khamsin Untamed. But I'd like to take the worst shit and turn it to funny shit. Like that's the best. Don't who wouldn't want somebody who can take terrible shit and turn it into laughter? Like this is why we love comedians. You know what I'm saying? But yeah. But I'm sitting there and I'm just tripping off. I'm like, it's a lot of manipulation going on. Like, do y'all not know what's going on with Earth right now? Because they was confused. Like, what's going on? But what it was facts. What it was they been so focused on the cosmic portion. It's a separate group of beings that manage different levels of consciousness, right? So the same ones that manage our book of life are not the same ones that manage our actual life experience while we're here. So the spirits, what we would call spirits or energies that help us with our life here, would be like deceased relatives who really, really loved you and whose energy will continue to assist you throughout your life from the unseen realm. Then you got like what we would call angels, which is really like just higher angles of consciousness. Now, I don't get too deep. Like I got an occult tier on Patreon if you want to like get deep into the metaphysical study of that. That's there on Patreon. Pick whatever tier, whatever you want to learn, and it's there. But we have these elements of us, and then we also have the nature spirits, which we're just now getting back to, right? We're hanging out with trees and shit. It ain't weird no more. You know, for those of us who called to this journey. You want to spend more time going to the lake or the river or the beach or whatever, like getting out in the woods, going hiking, sitting in the mountains. When you on a road trip, you can't stop staring at the clouds and shit. You walk outside and you're just amazed by the butterflies. You're amazed that you just saw a hawk fly right over your house. You know, it's just you're noticing things. You're noticing a whole family of deers, like just out the blue. You see some fucking bunny rabbits and you're just like, wow, I've never even seen bunny rabbits like in real life like this before. And it means something to you. It triggers something within you. So there are different levels of teachers of what we experience, all the way down to something as small as a crystal. That's a teacher. Any crystal that ends up in your life is not by coincidence. It's in your soul contract for you to have that crystal in your life. And for those of us who know, when you feel a connection with a certain crystal, like you can't even wrap your mind around it. You don't really understand it. All you know is, I got to have that labradorite. I need that amethyst in my life. Like whatever it is, it's just so beautiful. And I've been like this my whole life. You know, like I've been making the best out of it because I grew up in the hood where it was like a lot of broken glass, and like back in the 80s and early 90s, it was like beer bottles and stuff. They was different colors, and sodas was different colors. And so I would find the broken glass after it been rained on and shit for a few years, and just to lay it down there. And it would look like crystals. And I swore it was crystals as a kid. Like I'm in the hood. Other kids looking at me like, she weird. I'm over there digging in the dirt and shit. I swear I'm digging up amethyst and you know what I'm saying, citrines and rose quartz. I had a whole collection, and most of it was probably glass, and most of it was probably bottles used to bust somebody across the head. But I was making the best out of that shit. You know? So as I'm sitting here listening to them explain my life review, I was like, y'all, my life is so hard. Like, I'm trying to make the best out of it. I have my days. I mean, I done had a few times where I was like, I just want to end my life. Let me just take this whole overdose. Or, you know, I would live on the edge because I didn't care if I died. I didn't feel like nobody else cared if I died. And so I would make really bad decisions because I wasn't afraid of nothing. I would do anything at least one time. Like I had been like that for so long. And so they was telling me that I was going to bring this message back to earth and let people know that they're fixing it. So this is what this means. As you are being like starting to pay attention and awakening and feeling more important, feeling like it's more important how you treat yourself, how you talk to yourself, what type of food you eat, how much water you're drinking, what kind of conversations do you have, what type of critical thoughts do you have, and like, is this really true? Like when you start getting into this, like, how authentic am I being? Who am I? What do I like and what don't I like? You start noticing like people you don't like people you probably been cool with, and you like, I really don't even like this. why, why have we been friends for so long? All of these are signs of going through this awakening where your soul is evolving. And so it was like, you're going to take the message back, and the people who is for is going to be for, and they'll resonate with it. It was like, but we getting it together. So y'all need to get it together, because as above, so below. So as y'all doing the work down here on earth, we're going to be correcting this up here in the Akashic Library, in the cosmos, which I thought was just, really, really dope and really good to know. Like, we not doing this by ourselves. I know it be feeling like that, but you don't want to see all of the spirits that's been assigned to assist you. Because all of them ain't going to look like what you think is cute or what you think is acceptable. Spirits be having eyeballs and shit everywhere just to symbolically represent their ability to see through time. Be shit like that. Like, if you're not ready to see that, this is why when some people are called to Mama Ayahuasca or to work with psilocybin or to work with DMT, the entities and stuff that they see, sometimes it'd be too much for them. You want to make sure that you're ready for the veil to be pulled back more like that. And like I said, most of what you go see is the shit that you've been running from. And not even just that, but whatever healing work your parents didn't have the knowledge and courage to do, guess what? You got that too. You got a dose of that too. Yeah. You got a dose of that too. I kind of just been channeling y'all, because if I start paying a lot of attention to what y'all saying, then I'm not picking up on the energy of the people that's in the room as well. And when I channel like that, just allow the information's come through me to move through me like that, yeah, I have to kind of laser point my focus. So if I missed something or it didn't see something, it wasn't intentional. I enjoyed this conversation. Having to step back, and I'm doing a lot of things right now. Like, I created the course so that I could slow down and do the things that I needed to do to take care of the oracle, so that the oracle can do what she came to do, which is fuck the matrix up. Like, y'all, I'm telling you, you are so much more beautiful than you have been allowed to see. And I have just ripped my heart open on this live stream so that you could see the beauty inside of you. Because I'm just a mirror. That's it. And there are parts of you that you were held back from seeing for a long time. And a lot of us had people around us who was uncomfortable with our light, uncomfortable with our strengths, uncomfortable with our greatness, uncomfortable with our truth. And so we pushed that down and we hid that. And that was great for the old earth. It helped us survive. It helped us get to this point. But now it's holding us back. It's not serving us. And so before I slowed down, I spent 6 years connecting with people, finding the common denominator. Like, give me the biggest shit. I done been through so much. I'm certified for this. You can't get certified for this in no school. This shit gotta teach you through lifetime after lifetime. And I learned so many things about who I am that proves that I'm an oracle, because I didn't want to just have it because it's trendy. I wanted to make sure that I was efficient and effective, and that I could actually offer people practical things that they could do and demystify the shit that's been like a mystery and hidden from us, and I wanted to make it simple. And so I'm creating this course, and I'm paying attention to the issues, you know. And I don't know, I think I have a fan club or something, y'all too. Y'all could join that, but it, no worries. Like, I ain't learned all this TikTok shit. I'm focused on the energy and just being able to be in service. But before I slowed down, the reason I created this course was because in every reading and in every group that I work with, it was the same shit over and over again. My money, my career, my relationships, and how I feel about myself, my family, right? My sexuality and my spirituality. Because what works for one may not be what works for another. And we're clone consciousness. We're people who have been programmed to all believe the same thing. And then we're starting to discover, wait a minute, I don't believe it. No, I don't believe in monogamy. Some people are like, I don't believe in that. I need to have me like 2 or 3 options. I want something for Tuesday. Like, I like to switch my outfits. So we're just noticing like that really ain't what I value. You know, I don't value waking up with the same person every day. I value allowing myself to explore and have experiences. Like, we're just going through these things, figuring out who we are. And when I would get to the solution in every reading, I was noticing these common denominators. So I was like, okay, bet. Give me the cheat code. Give me the cheat code. And it took me, I can't tell y'all how many hours. Like, me and my partner just sat down and put our heads down and coded this stuff in. I mean, it was a lot of downloads that I was getting. And these downloads was light codes. And so this information is, look, I'd be the first to tell you I got a sprinkle of narcissism. Okay? I think all of us do. All right? And if you don't think that you do, you're probably the worst one of us all. But I felt like what I was creating was some of the dopest shit. Like, to ever be created is some of the realest shit I ever wrote. It was, and it was coming from a place that I had not tapped into before. It was coming from a place of, no, I want people to be so comfortable with their light that they don't even notice people who not. I want people to understand their love attachment so deeply that they're not going to keep attracting the same pain over and over again. I want to take the pain of what I went through and learning how to be an emotional contortionist, because I'm a shapeshifter, baby. Let me tell you, I can shapeshift to a situation. If I'm feeling unsafe at some shit, I can code switch. I can change the whole way I talk. I can switch up my whole vibration. Like, look, I'm going to find some safety. Even if that mean I have to get away from your ass, I'm going to find some safety. And see, I always attracted energy vampires and didn't know why. Now, all of us are energy vampires. Let's be clear. If you need food to eat, water to drink, and sunlight to live, then you need energy, right? Vampirism is when we get in a space where we're taking energy from someone or something and we're not reciprocating that energy. So it's an unhealthy hunger. It's an unhealthy desire. It's a void we're trying to fill up. It's an abyss inside of us, and we're willing to suck people dry to feel that part of us that's in pain or that is empty. Now that ain't got nothing to do with being bad people. We just all been through some shit, and we learn how to cope in different ways. Narcissists ain't no worse than codependents. There is no worse or better. It just is what it is. And so when I was able to start cracking through the codes of what creates suffering from my own experiences and from all of the people that I work with, I was like, these is cheat codes to the matrix. So the very first course that I put out was called the 3D Matrix Detox. It's also a religious trauma detox. And as I was creating that course, I was getting downloads on how trauma was used to cause us to feel inferior and lack confidence. It was no way my mind was going to be able to do that by itself. I mean, just to know Just to know that I don't love myself and feel confident about who I am because I've been labeled as a sinner. That was heartbreaking for me. In all the years that I have struggled to strive to earn love from God, I also felt like people are worse than God. So I definitely got to struggle to earn love from people. And by me doing my own shadow work and working with people, I started to see, and I was like, wow, it's so much trauma that's been wrapped in what was passed down to us. And I was like, why do I feel like I always have to earn people love? Like, love is something that's given, but I feel like I gotta earn it. I gotta work for it. I gotta prove to you that I'm worthy of your love. Right? And so it all started with my relationship with this God. And so I started to research religion and spirituality and what the difference was. And I went deep. So that course is still available. That course is going to give you ceremonies, meditations, and rituals that you can do so that you're able to open up the part of your subconscious mind that has the coding in it that make you feel like you're not good enough, that make you feel like you're not worthy of love, that make you feel like you always messing up shit, like you can't get it right. Like I don't really deserve nothing better in life. Because when you beat yourself up and you criticize yourself, that's really what you're doing. You're sending a broadcast out to the universe that I'm unworthy of the things that I want, the things that I need, the things that I deserve. But if you don't feel worthy of those things, they're not going to come to you. So, these are the things that philosophers and teachers and gurus over time have pondered about what the answers are. And I went to get the answers from the Akashic Records. And the Akashic Records holds information across every dimension, the seen and unseen realm, solutions for our soul. So that's on my website too. But I wanted to say this before I leave. I have been so solitary and so deep in my work. There are a lot of things that I do on a day-to-day basis to be a clear channel of love and to elevate people's frequency without going into toxic positivity, because that's not useful either. Like, I've been doing the work. So when I say doing the work, I mean this. As you can see, I love being able to touch people that I've never met before. That sounds that don't sound right. I do. I love to be able to touch people's hearts. Be more specific. But I love for people to feel like they got something that they've been needing that they didn't even know they needed. That's a really good feeling for me. I'm a lover. I'm a Libra rising. I have like a stellium in my Libra. So like, and in Vedic astrology, I'm the alignment of Vishnu and the goddess who rules over my natal chart. She is also a nurturer. So like, that's the energy that people feel from me. I think even when I'm pissed off, people still like, when I'm pissed off, it's scary. And some of the most gangsters, yeah, I scared some of the most gangsters, and I'm one of the sweetest people ever. But I also have this very Saturnian scorpionic energy. I have a Scorpio moon. Like this is the stuff I didn't know. I didn't even know this stuff was important to know to improve my life. I thought I was gonna be able to improve my life just with the shit I had already knew. Like, I didn't know I was gonna have to learn some new stuff to improve my life. But this is what we be on. We be trying to do that, right? And religion, it did that to a lot of us and to our ancestors. So like, we afraid of the shit that's really gonna give us our power. That's all by design. That's how the 3D matrix survived, right? So when I learned these things about myself and I learned how to start using them in a more beneficial way, I was like, what is this called? What is this? Like, how am I able? Because, okay, how many people here have negative thoughts and you be trying to stop it, but you can't? Anybody here ever feel that? Like somebody say something to you and you cannot stop thinking about it. It just keep coming back to you, and you just like, I can't even believe what they said that to me. You doing something completely different. You know, you oiling your scalp and taking your shower, just replaying in your mind. Like, who had this happen, right? Y'all had this happen too. And sometimes you feel like a really terrible person because you like, I'm really not trying to be on this. Like, I'm really trying to let this shit go. But I can't. I just hear the echoes in my head. And if it move into the next day, you really feel like a bad person then, because you just like, oh man, you wake up and you still thinking about this shit. You like, why did they even think that was okay? Like, this shit literally would color your entire day. And then at the end of the day, you feel worse because you feel like you allow a trigger to take over your day. So maybe spirit was sending you messages that day, but you weren't in a place to be able to perceive them because you was in this trauma loop, because they triggered something deep inside of you. I wanted to go into the trigger and be like, wait a minute, it's a gem in everything. What's the gem in the triggers? And I created a guidebook, y'all, and turned it into a 7-day trigger challenge. Trigger man. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know if y'all rat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a-tat-a, boom, boom. Like, when I was creating the course, y'all ain't gonna find nothing like this nowhere else. While I was creating the course, I'm hearing music and shit. Like, my guides was keeping me hyped up. Like, all my spirit guides and ancestors kept me hyped up. And I was like, trigger man. I was like, trigger challenge. Because I want people in the moment, because you feel confident. Like, when you get triggered and you walk away emotionally regulated, you feel like you climb Mount Everest. You feel you come on now. You feel real good. You like, wow, I ain't even let that mess me up. That's a good feeling. And things that are good feelings, I want people to be able to feel them more often. Like, we can't change this world until we change our emotional set points and the way we experience the texture of our life, y'all. This is the key. This shit should be in like a best-selling book. Like, I'm making this shit so simple and practical, and I'm pretty sure anybody watching this, you resonating with this, and you feel like it's actually practical and something that you could start doing. I doubt if it's anybody here who don't feel that way. But I want to take the trigger so it don't make me feel like a bad person, and so that the trigger don't make me feel sad. Sometimes stuff really, really hurt me, and I'm hypersensitive, right? So I wanted to know, why am I hypersensitive to certain triggers, you know? And what I learned is hypersensitivity is a symptom, a side effect of experiencing trauma. And the reason that you become hypersensitive, but it's also a side effect of being a starseed. So if you a starseed, you automatically signed up to have traumatic experiences in your soul contract. So you're hypersensitive to energy. People can look at you a certain way, and like that was a whole paragraph. In that one glance, that one look in one microsecond was a whole paragraph of what that shit meant. Who am I speaking to? My people? Am I speaking to my people? Anybody relate to that? That shit was like whole entire paragraph. You looked at me, your tone of voice. I'm finna download like the last 15 hours of your day, how you been feeling about me by your tone of voice. You say one thing, like, for real. So this is a mixture of becoming telepathic, but having trauma and not really knowing how to use the trigger in a way that's transformative. Woo! Did I just drop 4 T's on y'all? This is how I teach in my course too. Because if the shit boring, you ain't gonna log in every day and do that. I can't tell you how many courses I got from people I really love and adore, but they bored the hell out of me. And my ADHD brain can't. If I'm not getting some type of stimulation, I need some instant rewards. Let's be real, y'all. We grew up in a microwave. society. We be wanting to feel some instant gratification sometimes. So I wanted to create this course in a way where you was gonna be like, okay, I can log in every day and I can do this. So like the Virgo perfectionist in me, I really thought this shit through, right? But the 4Ts. So when you get triggered, it's a form of trauma that's creating the way that you're perceiving that trigger. And what it end up happening is you will miss the opportunity for transformation. So am I saying every trigger that happens to you is an opportunity to be transformed? Absolutely. And when you got the guidebook on how to do that, all you got to do is take it and implement it into your life and whatever be going on with you. And so I created it like that. So like, let me give y'all an example. Let's say your abandonment get triggered. You know how, because we're hypersensitive, we made this shit seem like the worst thing in the world. Like it's just the worst disease. Like hypersensitivity is like HIV in the 70s and the 80s. It's like that no, right? But it's a beauty in it. It's a beauty in every pain. There is a purpose and a power. So if you get triggered, and let's just say you feel like somebody mad at you. This is a really common trigger. And you really don't feel like you did nothing wrong. And maybe you said something and it triggered something in them. And they maybe pulling away is how they learn to cope. But when they pull away, it triggers abandonment in you because you never dealt with the fact that your parents weren't there for you, and some of the times you felt like they should have been there. So this person is just acting as a catalyst so that you could go and see where is holes in your energy field that's allowing negative circumstances to come into your life. This is why we say shit like when it rains, it pours. Yeah. Then you got a hole in your energy field. Yeah, it's going to affect you different. So that's really all the trigger is. The triggers are such a blessing to us. My goal is to find the shit we don't like and figure out what about it is worthy of loving. And this is so throughout everything that I teach, all of my content, my courses, my meditation, that is the root intention, is to help you to figure out what is the power that this moment is offering me and to demystify it and keep it simple. So when you feel that abandonment trigger, when somebody pull away from you and you're like, damn, is they mad at me? Especially when you're in a relationship and your partner like not talking to you as much or maybe being short with you in text messages, like that's a trigger for me. Like you be sure you say 2-3 words to me in a text message. I'm like, damn, I wasn't worthy of a sentence today. Like what type of shit we on? Like, damn. Okay. And it would really bother me. I didn't know how to be with that emotion. I didn't know how to be with that. Yeah, be real, sis. I didn't know how to be with that. So I was like, well, teach me how to be with this. What is this moment doing? How this moment don't feel empowering at all. I feel deflated. Right? And so my next reaction, what's your next reaction after the trigger? I'm kind of teaching y'all what I teach you, like just giving you an example. But what's your next reaction? Is your next reaction to fix it? Is your next reaction to crash out and be like, why you not responding to me? And why you like you don't want to say nothing to me today? And what's wrong with you? Like, is your reaction to get angry and have a meltdown? Is your reaction to be nice? Well, let me be nice. They must be upset with me about something. Because maybe every time your mama got mad, you knew mama being mad ain't going to be good for us. So I need to do whatever I need to do to make sure mama feel better. And so now when people get upset with you, that's what you feel like you got to do. You got to make it better. You got to make them feel better. And sometimes they did something that was hurtful to you and you still overextending yourself to them. This is very, very unhealthy. This creates autoimmune diseases, y'all. And I'm dealing with this. I've talked about this in other videos. And I've had people that I love dearly leave this world with autoimmune diseases. And it was because of this. I didn't want to know just about genetics. How is this connected to our emotions and the way we deal with triggers? That's how deep I went into this information. And to my surprise, Gabor Mate, who is considered an expert, he validated and confirmed what I had been putting in my content and in the course. It was like I didn't need the validation, but to get it from someone who's considered an expert that I respect, I was like, wow, it's so amazing that the solutions that I'm giving people are solutions that's coming years later from people who are very well known and have written best-selling books. I'm like, this is fucking incredible, you know? And so the energy in the trigger is there for you to figure out that incredible part of you. And once I felt that, I said, oh, this is because I felt like I was neglected as a child. So in this moment, instead of me trying to people please my way back into this person being nice to me, let me give them their space. Maybe they processing something that ain't even got nothing to do with me. And let me just tend to my hurt feelings right now. We got to stop making other people responsible for tending to our hurt feelings. Just because they was the one that hurt your feelings don't mean that they is the one that's supposed to heal it. You are your own healer. You are always supposed to be your own healer. Anytime you look to somebody else to give you medicine you're not willing to give yourself, that's codependency. That's love addiction. And that means that you have put yourself in a position to be underappreciated by that person because the energetic exchange in that relationship is unbalanced and you're making it worse. So this is why people who are codependent and overgivers on a spiritual level, this creates a vacuum in our lives and it sucks the life force out of us. It sucks the joy out of us. This is why we get resentful with people. Because it's like something about our energy exchange is not healthy for me. And I know it's affecting other parts of my life and I don't like it and I don't know how to change it. So that's why we get so defensive when we get triggered, because it's just like I'm awake enough to know that if I get triggered and you get defensive and I get into acting like my old self, it's going to mess up some shit I've been trying to manifest. And I don't want to do that. So it's like, it's not that I'm just triggered. Like I got a whole reality that I'm trying to create. And this trigger is messing my shit up. And like, because the air is so electric with all of the Wi-Fi and shit that we got now, and we become more telepathic, we can really do some damage to ourselves and each other. So you got to know how to catch that. Like, no matter, anybody that know me will tell you, I am like the emotional regulator. Like, I be on top of that shit. Right? And the issue was I was regulating other people's emotions on top, but I wasn't regulating my own. Right? So I was making myself sick. And so now I just see what it is that I need. And a lot of times my inner child just need me to be present with her and be like, it's okay, baby, that hurt your feelings. I understand. I'm not shaming you and I'm not judging you for that. Your feelings are valid. Your feelings are valid. So this is what we go do. We go cuss this mofo out. In this journal, we're gonna write this letter. I want you to say all of the shit that you feel like you have not been allowed to say. I got you. And I ain't gonna let nobody mess with you either. And you go say what you feeling, how you feeling it. No censorship. That's what we doing. And I would just talk to myself like that. Yeah, like this, I have found this in books. Like, I keep finding best-selling books and books passed down in history that's teaching these same techniques. It's so I'm in awe of the way that my soul is offering my service to people now. But that's how I talk to myself. So you got to let that version of you that couldn't be emotional, that couldn't, most of us weren't allowed to be angry. I mean, to be a black woman or a black man, especially indigenous in America, and to be angry, it's like something negative is going to happen to you. That's how we was raised. So we was raised by people who was like, look, you can't be black and angry. Like, if the police pull you over, your ass needs to be neutral. Don't be acting angry. I'm keep it 100 with y'all. The only people I ever see confront police officers is my white tea people. All right. Now I'm 18% Irish, so I got some of it in me too. But I don't use it. I don't even be trying the matrix like that. You know what I'm saying? We ain't completely on the new earth. I know how to be. I ain't stupid. But you suppress your anger, so you might really be mad that they pulled you over and you was probably just going 4 miles over the speed limit and they tell you some shit like 14. White people got the car, sir. What? I have seen this. I have pulled over and sit and listen to these conversations and just in amazement, like, wow, did they just get out the car and walk up on the police while the police was turned around? This shit, that was like some supernatural shit going on there. But so we've been programmed to suppress our anger, and so sometimes just letting yourself express your anger will pull you out of the trigger, and you learn how to soothe your own you're regulating your own nervous system. You're soothing yourself, right? And so when you learn how to do that, you become attractive, you become magnetic, you start to attract blessings and beautiful things and people into your life, just because you're doing the healing work and you're showing up for yourself. You're taking better care of yourself on the inside, not the outside, because I was really good at that. You know, beauty was something that was always really important to me. And it's ironic because I was modeling, and when I was modeling, I wasn't supposed to have any scars, and I ended up all scarred up. It was crazy. It was ironic. My life has been when I tell you my life been such a movie, like it was so ironic. And so when I had to have surgery that first time, I knew like I'm not gonna be able to get no modeling jobs. You know, and I didn't even understand the beauty in my scars. It took years for me to understand that. I wouldn't even let them show. I had the best makeup when I would do my modeling calls and my photo shoots, or whatever event that I was participating in. I knew how to hide my scars, and that's what we've been doing. But when you love your own self at this level, people see beauty even in the stuff about you that you don't like. When you start to learn how to like, it's not just about loving you. Self-love consists of learning how to like you. And so when you can handle a trigger in a way and you walk away feeling like, I just grew up. Like, yo, that was some cool shit right there. No coping mechanism was used. You know what I'm saying? Like, I stood my ground. I said, hey, this is my boundary. You know, I'm uncomfortable with this conversation. Not going to have this with you right now. You probably felt the fear, but you did it anyway. You was like, we'll come back to this when both of us are in a better space. You start acting mature. And when you become emotionally mature, you become spiritually activated. You can't, you're dangerous if you're spiritually activated, but you're not emotionally regulated. And a lot of what we see happening now, especially since the movie that came out, Sinners, we're finna have a lot of people who are spiritually activated but aren't focused on being emotionally regulated. Can you imagine? You know, this is where we are now. This is where we are now. And this is going to make dating really hard. Yes, I had open heart surgery. Yep, this is going to make dating really hard because it's just a level of vulnerability that a lot of us are not yet willing to give. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I don't even know why y'all sit here and listen to me for so long, because I don't be wanting to do this. The real healing work that it takes to do the spiritual shit that we love, a lot of times we don't be wanting to do it. Come on, let's just be real. Who here wake up excited to do yoga and meditate? Maybe you had a phase where you felt that way, but you don't feel that way consistently. Because if you did, you would do it consistently. You will find a way to make it a consistent part of your life. Like, so we have to learn how to accept that part of ourselves, and then we can shift and we can change and we can progress. you know. So I gave y'all a lot, but a lot of this is my course is called Turn Pain into Purpose. And I take the pain of relationships, the pain of realizing that you've been getting F with no Vaseline. Like when you learn that a lie that you've been believing was causing you harm, that's how it feels. It's beyond being bamboozled. It's just like, wow. A lot of us been getting violated, you know? Just I can't say too much here. But I'm gonna send out an email when I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do a live stream because when I channel I like to use comedy. I'm a conjurer. So as a conjurer, I summon emotional energy in a really intense and strong way. And this is why it's so important for us to know how to work with this energy. Conjuring, don't think about what you saw in movies. Conjuring is about somebody's ability to summon in a certain energy, right? In an elevated way, and maybe even impact other people. Anybody who's a performer is a conjurer. Anybody who's a great actor or actress is a conjurer. They're summoning energy to embody in that moment to transmit and broadcast whatever it is that they want us to pick up on. So there's a responsibility that comes with being a conjurer. There's a responsibility that comes with being an alchemist, meaning you learn how to take pain and turn it into purpose. And that's how you tap into your power. So it's not by changing your life. It's not by changing the people in your life. Okay? Because if they still in your life, it's a lesson that you're learning. Once the lesson is learned, if that was the only reason they was in your life, they would no longer be in your life. This is the new earth. This is the way it works. Okay? But I'm going to make sure that I put the link in the bio. And I just want to encourage y'all and say, I know I kind of took you through a lot of different things, but spirit is speaking to you if you caught me, because I don't do this a lot anymore. So don't ignore that voice. If you feel the pull, like, follow through with it. You deserve to follow through with something. And a lot of us would feel more confident if we would listen to our intuition and follow through with what we're feeling. Even if a part of our mind is in resistance to it, we push through it. We ignore the doubt and we're like, no, I felt the connection and I want to explore this. And I want to explore these parts of myself that she's talking about. She's explored in herself. If you feel that call, don't ignore that. Because doing webinars every week to promote the course, and I just haven't been feeling that. Like I need to feel like I'm being called for divine timing and inspired to do something. I'm a manifesting generator in human design. So when I know that I'm meeting a real need in real time, and I can bring the message from the divine just to help you shine, so that you're inclined to live a life that's aligned. And I can keep doing this shit because I do it all the time. I'm finna get off here before I start freestyling on y'all. But look at the links and just see what's there for you. Even if you don't want to do nothing else but just start working on your intuition, I made a free ebook for you with a lot of the things, some of the things that we talked about here. And you can actually strengthen your intuition, your third eye. It's a combination of using your third eye and a combination of using your heart chakra and using your sacral chakra and your solar plexus and your root chakra, right? And most of that is what makes your intuition. And your spleen chakra, which we don't talk about or hear about that much. And so it's a free ebook. And it's called Mastering Your Intuition, Harnessing the Power of Your Sixth Sense. Go and get that for free just by signing up for my email newsletter. I send out emails, and when I tell y'all I'm an overgiver, I really do. So even in the emails that I'm sending you, and I could be just talking about something I went through, I put like solutions and tips and videos, and just I give a lot, and I want you to be able to have like a buffet of stuff that you could tap into to tap into this part of yourself. And I want it to be fun. But I'm gonna keep doing my healing thing. I'm gonna be doing a detox really soon. If y'all ain't started detoxing, like, look into that. I can't get into the hows and the whats and stuff right now, but look into that. It's really important for those of us who call to heal generational trauma. You're not just detoxing parasites and heavy metals and candida, and if you've been exposed to mold like I have, but you're also detoxing the toxic emotions that was passed down to you generationally when you do a detox. So if you struggle with anger, that's usually liver issues. So you want to detox your liver. I may collaborate with somebody soon on, and I'll be recommending some products. But as I said, I'm living the soft life, like as soft as I can possibly live life. That's what I'm doing right now. But yeah, so I'll put those links in there for you. Get the ebook. Just practice your intuition, okay? Because on the new earth, logic is not going to be what helps you create the reality that your heart is aligned with. Logic is going to keep you creating a 3D reality. Okay? You need intuition to create a higher dimensional reality that's based in love. And it takes trust. You have to trust yourself, because you're probably not going to have any proof that the decision that you're making is a good decision. Intuition is like that. It's crazy. It's like jump and just believe you go start flying before you hit the ground type shit. And this is the energy that we in now. So this is the new earth. Welcome to the new earth if you're watching me. But I'm Khamsin the Oracle, and this was me being a little bit untamed. But really soon I'm gonna let y'all know how I'm gonna be able to like really get loose. I like to get loose. When I tell you I destroy matrix illusions and stuff, y'all, like, I really do cultivate this energy before I come in front of y'all. And yeah. So yes, and I'm gonna be sharing some dreams. I've had some dreams. It's letting us know what's about to be happening. I'm based out of Memphis, Tennessee, so I'm in Egypt, y'all. And y'all know the Egypt grid is waking up, and everybody is wanting to come to Memphis and bring their corporations to Memphis because they want to tap into the spiritual energy that's awakening on these ley lines. But yeah, so I'm gonna be talking more about the stargates. But first, you want to focus on the stargates inside of you. And that's everything that we have talked about. I'm probably going to repost this because I got music in the background. I don't know if it's going to be an issue, but I'm going to repost this so that you can watch this replay. It'll be on my new YouTube channel. It's Khamsin Untamed Oracle. That link is in the bio. It's been beautiful connecting with y'all. I hope when you leave here, you sit with yourself and be like, did anything change with me? And I really hope that you was able to feel the difference, because it's time for us to go out there, y'all, and start creating a new reality collectively for us to experience, because we're able to connect with souls, who is on some love shit. Yeah. All right, y'all. Peace.